Welcome back to That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Anime Review, episode number 32. We are here reviewing the 60th episode of the series, Festival Preparations. And that title was not a lie. This is basically about preparing for the festival. This episode is from pages 106 to 128 from chapter 2 of the book. From what I can tell, the beginning portion will probably be adapted for the next episode, so that's why it was skipped. Mostly put, I would say that the events of what was presented here in the book, it's presented in more of a chronological order because the stuff here is like all over the place, and I guess the anime must have seen that, and this presented this all in order. Yeah, they're adapting this is like roughly 24 pages, but here's what happens. So we see Rigurd, and I believe it's maybe no, not Shion, someone else. They're preparing the invitations for the upcoming Founders Festival, which is basically what this is setting up. So Rimuru pays a visit to Gabiru and the dwarf from the Dwarf King, the one who was a former cap scientist and all about developing healing potions. This gets a bit later, but I appreciate putting this first because it just seems kind of weird that the events of this episode, it's like this comes later, even though this is the first thing he does. Treasures the healing potions, and then like the big cellar, and then he goes to his government building, where he sees Shihon, where he's just apparently like something special. Valdor might be doing something, presumably. He got a couple lines, and then Shuna is seeing Rimu's office, and she wants to get the kingdom of Fomuth. The reason why, because she wants to learn special dishes from their kingdom. And she talks to the chefs, like, oh, you're trying to seduce me. And eventually she does cook him something basic, and he found it very delicious, and takes her on to basically teach. And then right after that, he goes to visit Nilgard, I believe his name is. The guy who is a businessman who is associate of Rimuru, which, of course, when you first see him, he's talking to a viscount about running a facility run by slaves who are elves, and he was talking about paying them. The Viscount thought that was an outrageous idea to do, even though that buying elves apparently in this world is illegal. So, and of course he realizes though that yeah, the stuff the guy is doing is wrong, and he probably suspects him of some criminal organization, so as soon as Rimuru shows up, he just immediately kicks him out because apparently this guy's so disrespectful to Rimuru. He does not know the fact he's a demon lord. Excuse me, or the fact he's Rua Tempest. So, he basically poses a very good, basic some ideas to him. The fact that Valdor wants to be his friend Valdor wants to cook. He suspects it might be the actual from his expression, oh crap, is the dragon back? And he's right. The book doesn't say it per se, but you can tell by his expression. Yeah, when he hears the name Valdor, it's a storm dragon. Yes, it is so obvious that it's basically the storm dragon, even though he's in human form now. Pop sees a cook, and then, of course, talk about ideas to get more, kind of turn the capital toward a resort town. Like, talk about some hotels. They just an idea about doing a martial arts tournament, which, of course, also talk about building a stadium to hold 50,000 people, which, according to him, the stadium they have there can only hold about 10,000. 50,000 is like a lot. And they've got some people who are poor can get it for free, but nobles basically can charge for special things. And sounds like a pretty good idea. Lots of really good stuff proposed here for the scene. He says, all that's said and done, he wants them to come live in Tempest. Presumably like a secretary, but probably get a high position involving finances because he trusts them. He's like, okay, I can do that. And then right afterwards, he goes to the kingdom of Blumod, where he runs to Foos. Now I basically have this theory of the writer, who's also named Foos as well. He probably named the character after himself. He is the head of the local Ventures Guild, and he's also in charge of the intelligence department. So, he is shocked to see him. The fact that about this particular festival is coming up. The fact that Malim is going to be there. and suggested possibly giving the invitation to the king and Yuki, the head of the Free Guild. Yes. And of course, it's basically her. And you probably think, okay, after this scene, like, what happens next? That's it. Oh, they also mentioned about what happened from the stuff that was at book 7 about the 7-day clergy. That you discussed that here. Like, it's basically him recapping the first the first half of the season, like first 11 episodes. That's kind of what basically this episode is. Well, in the case of relating to him, basically recapping. There's no mention here about Yom. They'll probably save it for next week. But yeah, the whole episode clearly have its eye focused on Rimuru and what he's doing preparing for the upcoming festival. Now, I do appreciate that the fact the title is not a lie. Because he is making preparations for this festival. Now, Riga, I'm happy to see him, and the fact Marlene will be coming back soon. Yes, she will be popping up soon. I don't know if it'll be the next episode. It could be the following episode when she returns to the series. But this was a damn good episode, and even though there's no action here per se, but you could say, some people say, oh, this episode is filler because not much happens. This episode is not filler at all. This is adapted from the book itself. Yes, it's only 24 pages. Like, more like about 23, actually. But this is something that happened. Now, everything presented here is mostly off order. Now, you're probably thinking, what happened first? What was it, the phone booth stuff? I think it was. It's like they've been some sort of reverse order, at least out of order. But I think the order presented here was fine. I had no issue at all. Also, there's talk about Rimu going to the guy's mansion, which, of course, I would say that they kind of were there in the anime, but they didn't say that at all. Also, the anime did not mention the fact how Rimu was getting here all these places. Like, wait, how does he get all these places in different countries? Simple, he's using teleportation magic. Which is something the anime said I cut out for some reason. I would have thought they would have basically just stated, yeah, Rimu's using this thing to go everywhere, and it's cut from the anime. I don't know if this wasn't a sub. I don't know because I haven't listened to sub at all. I've never listened to the series. So, I would say very little was cut here per se. Aside from that one little thing there, but I think that possibly next week we'll finish adapting this chapter definitely, and probably move to chapter 3. Now, presumably you could say it's going to 62, but I think it might go on 63. Now, the first book that they had for the season, book 7, that took up 10 episodes. Do I think that book 8 will take up 10 episodes? No, I don't think so, because they're on chapter 2 already, and plus book 8 is not as long as book 7. Book 8, okay, book 8 is... It has only 4 chapters, an epilogue, and a prologue. The amount of pages in this book is 282. So I don't think this would take very long. If I would take a guess of how much time this would take up, my guess is it'd probably be about 5 or 6 episodes. At best. I highly doubt it'll be 10. Now, this is technically the second episode to adapt this particular book. So, could it wrap up 62? I don't know. It just depends upon what the anime wants to do. Yes. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for particular review. Please be sure to like, comment. Actually, hold on. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It will continue definitely on to basically episode number 63. So, yeah, that's pretty much it particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. I did not like the fact I hit the dislike button for my Marjorie review, but we'll find about that. We'll talk about Marjorie later. Next up is the final episode of Black Butler Season 4, and there'll be an announcement. I had theorized about this, and oh yeah, it's coming, but not in October. Okay, but until you see you next video. Bye.